Hey guys, it's Nick, and thanks for tuning in to Long Island Wargaming. And this is a 2,500 point game, Skaven versus High Elves. I apologize for getting this game out to you so late because it's a couple weeks old at this point. I was actually with a subscriber who was up from Virginia. His name is Chris, and his username is Guzzoid, if you see him comment around at all. And he was up from Virginia, so he got a game in at Grasshoppers. And this was the list I used against Chris literally an hour earlier that day. So this was a pretty friendly game, which worked out well for me since I was pretty worn out from the first game. So this, since it was a pretty friendly game, we helped each other out where we could, and we didn't want to make it too intense because I think this was Chris's like 5th or 6th career game. He had picked up the High Elf army not too long ago, and he actually started getting some of it up, painted very nicely. So. Now, the funny thing about this game is as much as it's a PvP game, I also struggled with the PvE, which I know these terminologies are more for online games, but since it was a friendly game, we decided to use the fluffy terrain that you could find in the Warhammer rulebook. And it's been a while since I've used these because we've just been using mundane just to get ready for tournaments and whatnot. But we used the fluffy terrain for fun, and you'll see how it greatly impacted the game. And I apologize if I missed anything, but like I said, this game is a couple weeks old, and we were at the shop, so I wasn't able to take notes or use my digital SLR camera, so I used my iPhone, so hopefully it comes out nicely enough. But I'm just going to go through each photo and just kind of describe what I see in each one, and hopefully that creates some insight as to how the game went. So here we go. Alright, so here is some magic. So you can see that there are 8 cards here. That is because Chris brought Teclis, and he also brought Corhill. So he's got the 2 special characters, which is pretty cool. He's running Comet, Regrowth, Spirit Leech, Enchanted Blades, Protection, the Withering, Wissons, and the Flaming Sword. So he's got those 8 spells, which is pretty cool. The ability to take 1 spell from each lore you're choosing is a pretty cool ability. And I don't remember what spells I had for my Gracier, but it was probably all Plague spells because against High Elves it's just nice to have Plague because there's toughness tests and Withering and whatnot. So I'm sure I also have the Dread of 13th. And I'm not even sure what my Plague Priest had either, but just looking at this picture you can see the deployment. All the way in the back by that river is the Gutter Runners. We have the river there with a bridge going through it, a forest, a banestone, and then a building, and another forest and a hill and a building here and there. So we'll find out what those pieces of terrain do or what they are. So the Doom Wheel is essentially lined up to just go right over that bridge. I figured that'd be fun. It was just interesting. So Slaves, Rat Dart, the Poison Wind Mortar next to the giant unit of Clan Rats, Bunker unit behind with the BSB, the Grey Seer and some heroes are in the Clan Rat unit, another Rat Dart, a Warp Fire Thrower, the Plague Monks with the Plague Priest and the Furnace, some more Slaves, Rat Dart, and the Hell Pit Abomination. And then for Chris's deployment, behind the Frostheart Phoenix, or whatever it is a Bolt Thrower, next to some Lorien Sea Guard. And then there are some Archers with Teclis in there. There are some Phoenix Guard with Corhill. And then there are Fast Cav, I should say, with the Sisters behind the Cav. And then there are some Dragon Princes, and then there are also some Fast Cav all the way to the right that you can see in this picture now. So this is just another angle. And yeah, so pretty solid deployment. Not a lot of elves down, which I like, and we'll see how that goes. So there's the Banestone, and Chris had these convenient little cutouts that describe what each piece of crazy terrain is which. And this Banestone is anyone within 6 inches of it gets +1 to wound against it, which is kind of annoying. So there's a Vanguard move here, and a Vanguard move here. And then Skaven get first turn. So I've been getting first turn like just about every game I've been playing. So the Doom Wheel doesn't move up that far, which, I mean, kind of stinks. I probably should have moved the Rat Darts up a little bit quicker early on just to see what those pieces of terrain were, but I neglected to do so. And everything just kind of shuffles up a little bit, not too much. And you can see here in this photo I've got my gutter runners ready to go. Instead of shooting at the bolt thrower, which might have been the better choice, I decided to take my chances at the Phoenix, and I don't think I did anything. Over here, the Hell Pit Abomination made a pretty solid dash towards the cavalry. And in my magic, really nothing happened. I'm just going to say this right off the bat. During the entire game, I don't think we ever rolled higher than 7 for Winds of Magic, which is, of course, average, but it was just really, really low. I mean, more often than not, the Phoenix had a detrimental roll to him, where, like, he was getting, his minus ward save or his minus attack or whatever it is, because we were just rolling low the whole game. So we've got Techless on the field, but he wasn't able to do some heavy duty damage because there just weren't a lot of power dice on the field. So I might have tried to get off to the 13th, but failed because we never really got that many dice. So we'll move into Chris's turn here. You can see the Phoenix is out of there. The Lorien Seaguard turn to face the Gunrunners. The Reavers are moved up on the bridge. You can see there's 2 there. There are not 3, so either shooting or magic did something to them. So there's less there. And then you can see the archers are making a sneak behind the Phoenix Guard, and the Phoenix Guard move up a little bit. And the Phoenix himself is chilling up behind the sisters, just getting ready to charge something. The Fast Cav back up behind the back up so they can see the Hell Pit Abomination. And at this point, the Dragon Princes have not charged up against the Hell Pit Abomination, so he's waiting on that. And then in his magic phase, he successfully gets off Enchanted Blains and Wissons onto these guys. So that makes them a little nasty and not fun to deal with. And we'll see how that goes. So I believe Lore of Metal, anything affected by Lore of Metal is flaming, so I don't know if that gives his guys flaming attacks, but it does give them +1 bonus when rolling to hit. So anyway, that just makes them all that much better at fighting the Hell Pit Abomination. Over here you can see that, unfortunately, all my gutter runners dropped from either the shooting from the bolt thrower or the Lorien Seaguard. So maybe I should have put them somewhere else, but whatever. Into Skaven turn again, the Doom Wheel just can't get across the board, so he goes ahead and just doesn't get the Reavers, which really, really sucks. So I was hoping for a charge and an overrun, but oh well, that would have been getting me in a really nice position, but oh well. So the Giant Rats go ahead and activate the CrAzY terrain. We get a Wildwood, which on a 4+, you take D6 strength 4 hits, which is annoying. And then a Raging Torrent, which is difficult terrain, and I believe it's +3 initiative, which is pretty cool. Everything else just moves up a little bit. And the Hell Pit Abomination fails his charge against the Dragon Princes, which is fine because they're pretty beefed up right now. So, I mean, they could charge him, and they'll get the strength, but at least he won't be dealing with those buffs. Try to get up the Dreaded 13th again, and I'm pretty sure I did not have enough Winds of Magic to get it off. Even with my tokens I was trying to use, just didn't happen. Here, the Poison Wind Mortar, it looks like, was able to kill probably about a quarter of the Phoenix Guard, but somehow I end up killing my own Giant Rats from something. I'm not sure why that happened. And then you can see a close-up shot of the Raging Torrent and the Wildwood, so these little cards are pretty useful, and I recommend if anyone uses the terrain, go ahead and use that. It's pretty cool. And or if you know where you can get them, send me a link and I'll put it in the video because they're kind of useful. Cool shot of the Doom Wheel coming over the bridge, and he goes ahead and misfires. So he does not shoot the frickin' Reavers, so he misfires, and he's now moving 2d6 instead of 3d6. And you can see here, this looks like Chris's movement. So the Reavers go ahead and face back not the Reavers, the Sea Guard go ahead and now face the river again, and Teclis and his unit are now facing forward. The Phoenix Guard move up a little bit, and there is a charge against the Hell Pit Abomination, and the Phoenix is now just chilling over by them. Maybe he's going to try to get a flank charge at some point. And the Fast Cav are now in close to the Slaves and the Rat Dart, so we'll see how that goes. And here's just another shot of everything closing in. And over here, the Hell Pit Abomination takes 3 wounds. I kill only 2 of his guys. I believe I rolled Feed, which only does a number of hits to the number of guys that are in contact, so I wasn't able to kill as many as I was hoping for, which, sucks, but whatever. And he doesn't get his Thunderstomp because they're a Cav, so yeah. Alright, over here. I issue a charge with both the Giant Rats and the Slaves, and unfortunately only the Giant Rats make it and the Slaves didn't. I was really hoping the Slaves would get in because, it would tie them up a little bit. Not that they're a huge threat, the Sea Guard, but at least I would have the +3 initiative, so he would not be getting rerolls against them. He would be getting counter shots, which is nice, but I end up losing 5 guys to the river, which kind of sucks, and now I'm stuck on the river. And then here you can see that the Plague Monks actually make a charge. I feel like why wait around? The actual furnace is not in a line of the forest, so now I just have to deal with the wildwood, which is going to be a pain in the ass. The Slaves go ahead and against the Fast Cav, and the Giant Rats also charge, but they failed a panic test because they took enough casualties to turn and run. Gutter Runner goes and fights that. I'm pretty sure he somehow gets wrecked before he even gets to do anything. Here's another shot of the combat, and of the battlefield, I should say. And yeah, so Magic Phase is very successful for myself. Now I get Wither off onto the Phoenix Guard, so now they're at -1 toughness, which is great. Easy to wound them now. And I also get poison attacks onto my Plague Monks, so this looks very promising. However, I'm pretty sure I forget to even do my poison attacks, which isn't the end of the world because I'm going to activate the Plague Banner in this combat, which means I'm going to be getting lots of hits and wounds anyway. But statistically, it would have been even more in my favor if I was paying attention to my poison attacks. So, yeah. Here you can see it looks like a bunch of guys died. Probably from a miscast. Yeah, since I got those spells off, I probably got a miscast. So some guys died from a miscast here. Here are the Slaves that died from... Oh, it looks like... Wow. Yeah, so those are all from the river. Yeah, I had really bad river rolls this game, so a bunch of guys dropped from the river. And he finally kills the freaking Reavers that were just sitting there blocking him up. And over here, it looks like the Poison Wind Mortar scatters. He was probably going for Teclis' unit, but now he goes ahead and hits my own guys, which is going to be easier to wound me because I don't have a 4-up ward save like the Phoenix Guard do. Not sure what this was for. Oh, this was for the Lightning Cannon. I was trying to kill some of those guys, and yeah, so I killed a couple of the archers. I believe I went 10 inches. I'm not sure if the small template hit the bolt thrower or not. I think it might have, but I think we forgot to do it because the small template drops down at the end of the 10 inches of the lightning cannon. But not a big deal because we were just trying to rush through the game because the store was closing. And here, look at all these guys. I've got so many freaking Plague Monks, so few Phoenix Guard. I have to do well, right? Well, I think the Wildwood killed a couple guys, and this is just a cluster of buffs and debuffs and augments, and it's just very frustrating looking back at it, knowing all the things I missed. But definitely forgot about the poison attacks. and I believe I was rolling my 3s for Wither. I don't remember. I think me and Chris were joking about it because I was totally like, oh crap, I forgot all these important things. And it was +1 for him to hit me because of the Banestone. I was within 6 inches of the Banestone and he wasn't. So it's just a cluster of freaking +1 minus this, poison attack. It was just a lot going on in this combat. You can see here that the Hellpit Abomination finishes off the Dragon Princess and is now open for some free flaming arrow shot from the sisters. Yeah. So you can see from this shot that the Phoenix Guard got grinded down, but I didn't single out Corhill, and I also forgot to use my frickin' Plague Priest. After all that, he had 4 attacks that I forgot to do with his flail, so that's, that's my fault. And, the Corhill's still alive, so they're stubborn. So even if I did kill extra guys with the Plague Priest, nothing would have changed. The next big thing that is going to help me decide whether I use the Plague Furnace or not, or twice I went to use the Wrecker attack, and I misfired, and it killed but during the entire game, it must have killed, 10 or 12 guys, so what looked like a very promising combat early on screwed me. So we'll get into that more. The slaves here fled as they got charged by the Sea Guard. So they took more wounds trying to leave that frickin' river. So that. And then you can also see that the Wildwood, which is supposed to be underneath the Plague Monks, continues to kill Plague Monks here and there. So that happens every movement phase. There's a 50-50 chance. And you can see here charge with the frickin' Phoenix. So it's +1 for each of us to hit each other with the Phoenix and the Plague Monks. The Plague Monks still have poison attacks, and it is -1 strength to... Oh no, it's +1 to wound with the Banestone. I'm sorry if I've said hit earlier in the game. It's +1 to wound. So the Banestone cancels out the -1 strength with the Phoenix, but it's still easier for him to wound me. Not that it wasn't already easy enough. And it's still -1 toughness on the Phoenix Guard. So it's just, like I said earlier, it's just a cluster of all these things that I'm trying to remember. But those cards do become useful. Now, what's going on here? Nothing much really. Techless is just chilling. Not a lot of spells get off this game at all. I mean, I got lucky with my spells, but Winds of Magic were so low that I think the Phoenix actually this turn got -1 ward save or -1 strength or something. So you can also see here my Poison Wind Mortar is fleeing. So I don't know. I believe he tried to redirect with the Sea Guard, and I just didn't feel like having him that close to me, which maybe I should have let him have it. This way he could have tasted the wrath of the Raging Torrent, but oh well. And again, I have so many guys here. How can things go wrong? Well, that can happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I don't know, 16 guys drop, and that's a mix of everything. So I don't think it's the Wrecker attack this turn because it's not my turn, but the Phoenix comes in, Corhill does his thing. Corhill, I think at this point actually drops, or he might have been the last guy to drop. He does end up dying somewhere along this combat. I'm unbreakable, but my Plague Priest gets singled out and killed. So just, that's devastating, the amount of guys I lost there. So, and the stupid thing I did last game against Chris, towards the late game, I decided to charge with my Clam Rats instead of sit there and do more shooting and more magic. I should have sat there and dreaded 13th them or plagued them or something, and I didn't. So, also noticing the engineer there, the Doom Rocket, I don't think hit anything. But you can see I have over 40 guys in this unit, including 2 engineers, 2 chieftains, and the Gracier. The Gracier doesn't really count much for combat. But I've got a shitload of guys here ready to, rock and roll, and I'm at +3 initiative, which is great. I lose like 10 guys to the river, which is terrible odds. Um, I mean, it's not too far off, but 10 guys really sucked. So I lost a bunch of guys to that. Um, and then he might have countershot me, which didn't help either. And you can see here the Doom Wheel got nowhere. And here you can see the Plague Pit Abomination, the Hell Pit Abomination goes in against the Phoenix, so that's pretty awesome. And then the bunker's just moving up a little bit. The fire thrower doesn't really have anything to shoot at, which is a shame. I think Chris was hoping that I would send the Hell Pit Abomination into the Sisters of Avalorn, but the counter shot, flaming, strength 4 is just not good. And then I go ahead and kill I kill 8 more guys with miscast. I'm not sure what spell I try to get off. Oh, I got Plague off. And Plague got off onto the Archer unit where Teclis is. So I was kind of hoping to deal some damage there. And I kill a bunch, and there's 4 Archers left and Teclis. So 5 guys altogether. And my always strike last Hell Pit Abomination got killed. So he's always strike last because of the Phoenix. And he had 1 wound left on him. So, yeah. Somewhere along the way, I think Impact Hits was able to do enough damage to bring the Phoenix down to 3 wounds. So he's got 3 wounds at this point, which really sucks. And Cora Hill is dead. Now we just have the standard left for the Phoenix, the Phoenix Guard. And he gets killed, the Phoenix Guard guy. So it just ends up being the Furnace and the Phoenix just by fighting it out. And then you can see here 2 Spearmen drop, 2 Sea Guard, and look, I had 40 guys and now I'm down to, I don't know, 18, 19, 20, so just ridiculous. And then combat goes in, so at the end of combat I lose so many guys, so even with my initiative being nice and high, I don't remember if we did rerolls for the High Elves. I'm hoping we didn't, but honestly it looks like we probably did here. He shouldn't have gotten those if we did because my initiative is at +3 right now, so it was high enough to deal with the Sea Guard. But either way, some Sea Guard drop, more freaking more clan rats died than I was expecting. So really there's no clan rats left. There's literally like a 3 command and then a bunch of heroes. So that's shit. And they go ahead and you can see to the left, they break and they're running. He doesn't catch him this turn. He'll probably get him next turn. And he does. And the slaves are still running because they're never going to rally at this point. Bolt throwers shoot out the Doom Wheel. Now they're just fighting out these guys. Nothing's really going to happen. And the Hell Pit Abomination turned into those giant rats, which, I don't know. I think I went to charge the sisters, but they countershot and probably killed a few. And actually, no, I didn't even, I went to charge them, but we didn't even get to play that out because at this point the shop was closing and it was like 10:30 and they really needed to get us out of there. So we really ended on about, I think it was the beginning of turn 5 we were able to get to. So it was definitely a fun game. Not a very clear winner, although it looks like I lost a lot of shit. Core Hill dropped. This is just a picture of what Chris had left. 2 Bolt Throwers, some Sea Guard, the Archers, the Sisters, and the Phoenix. Now, of course, 8th edition, you have to kill the entire unit to get credit for it. So the Archers and the Sea Guard are at full points, and so are the Sisters 1 touched, actually. So he has a nice chunk of guys right here, and then right here, I really don't have much points left on the field, so I think the victory should go to Chris, but really we didn't decide victory conditions at this point because it was towards the second half of the game we weren't able to finish it, but nonetheless we had lots of fun. And just some closing thoughts. Freaking TeRrAiN, man. That stuff's annoying. I got screwed. I don't think Chris suffered anything from the terrain. Maybe his Sea Guard when they were chasing down the clan rats, but really he didn't have to deal with them. So that's how I'm referring to the whole player versus environment, where I was getting +1 to hit me. So all of my plague monks were at +1 to get hit. my slaves and my clan rats just got destroyed by that river. That freaking river killed me. The wildwood was eating my plague monks. I had some pretty promising combats, but didn't really work out too well. So, and I gotta remember things more. The poison attacks that were there. I gotta remember that stuff. Wither, if I withered my enemy, I gotta remember it. Uh, I just think I'm too much of a casual gamer where, like, when I go to a tournament, which is in September, I just gotta remember to be an asshole. I mean, this game I didn't really want to because it was just for fun, and like I said, this was only the fifth or sixth game that Chris played, so. But, yeah, pleasure to have this game with Chris, and probably next time he's up north, maybe we'll get another game in. So it's always good to play a different high elf player than Rich, because Rich has his own little play style, and this was cool to see that Phoenix on the field painted up all nice. So any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below. And of course, I probably won't use this list because I'm not really thrilled with it, and after reading some comments from you guys on the list video, there's probably better ideas out there. So, and the furnace did nothing this game. Nothing. It misfired twice. So total turn off, and kind of missed my bell, but I don't know. Gotta figure it out. So, cool. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.